Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Kay and I have a very exciting video for you guys today. First, I'm going to talk about 4 life-saving techniques, EMS techniques that your whole family should know. It doesn't matter if it's the 5-year-old or it's the 50-year-old in your family. Make sure that you guys all know these tips and techniques because it can save one of your lives one day. And also I'm going to do a few reenactments. So you want to make sure that you stay tuned to this video. You do not want to skip through this one, okay? Alright you guys, so before we get started, I'm just going to go over a few general tips when it comes to saving a life, okay? So you want to make sure that you train all your family members, all your friends on how to perform CPR. You never know when it's going to come in handy, okay? So make sure that, you know, you do a refresher every year and just make sure you know how to perform it. Secondly, don't worry about your skills, okay? So you may not be the best at performing CPR. If you're not in the medical field, you may not really know how to do it very well. I mean, you should learn, but when it comes to saving someone, don't hesitate because you think you're not good enough, okay? So just get right in there and just do something. Something is always better than nothing. All right, so whenever you're in an emergency situation, you want to make sure that you point someone out to call 911. Okay, so I may think that, okay, someone else called 911, but a lot of times that's what everyone is thinking. Okay, so I may be thinking that, she may be thinking that, but you want to make sure that you point to one person and say, hey, you, call 911. Okay, so designate someone to call 911 so that, you know, we make sure that we call for help. And remember that your safety is first. Okay, if you're in a situation where you're not safe, helping someone else is probably not the best idea. You know, that's the #1 thing we learn in EMS school: safety first. Okay, so if we go on scene and someone, the situation is not right and we sense that, you know, our safety is compromised, we just retreat and we have the police come and secure the scene. Okay, so you have to think like that too. If you're in a situation where you want to help but you don't feel safe, make sure that you retreat and, you know, you call for help. Alright, so consider getting a survival kit. Okay, so this survival kit may contain EpiPen, Benadryl, maybe a diabetic snack, you know, just different things that you would use in an emergency situation. Alright guys, so let's get into those techniques. So the very first technique is CPR. Okay, so you want to make sure that everyone in your family knows how to do CPR. This is probably one of the most important techniques that you should know. Everyone should know this because you could be out at the mall and someone collapses, and what do? You could be at home and then your family member goes unconscious. You can't wait for 911 because it's going to take 911 a little bit to get there. So you want to make sure that you know some of these tips that the EMS personnel know so that you can help your family member. Okay, because every second counts when it comes to a cardiac arrest. So if someone goes unconscious and they go into cardiac arrest, if you wait 10-15 minutes, it's probably already too late by the time EMS gets there. Okay, so you want to make sure that you get in there, you know, even if you don't know how to do CPR perfectly, you get in between their chest and just, you know, push hard, push fast. Okay, and you want to take an EMS course, not an EMS course, you want to take a community CPR course. And just look online, CPR classes for families or something like that, and it should pop up in your state. I know every state has that. If you don't want to do that, you know, you can probably just watch videos online and just practice at home with your family. But if you don't really know, just push hard, push fast. You know, just remember that when it comes to CPR. So to take it a step further, if your family can afford it, maybe you can get an AED for your home. Now, most people won't be able to afford that because that thing is what, like $1,200? So, you know, I can't afford it, but it can save your life. It saves a lot of lives yearly, and it's like the most important tool when it comes to cardiac arrest, because when you get in the ambulance or when you go to the hospital, this is what they're using. Okay, so if you can get that for your home, maybe save up your tax money, you know, that's something to consider.
So yes, I have the GRE that's coming up that I have to study for in 3 weeks. I just don't know how I'm gonna do that. I still have to work. And the deadlines for PA school applications are due. It's just so much. I'm gonna call you back. Oh my gosh! It's an Nathan Barnes! Are you okay? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, she's not responding. Gina, she's not responding! Oh, let me call 911. Yes, my sister, she collapsed. She's not breathing. She's unconscious. Oh my gosh. She's a 26-year-old female. Okay, I'm going to start CPR.
You guys, the next technique that everyone should know is the Heimlich maneuver. Okay, so picture yourself eating some neck bones. You know, you ate it too fast, you choked on that bone, it dislodged in your trachea, so now your airway is blocked, you know, and this can actually kill you. Okay, so if you don't get that thing out and it blocks your airway, it can kill you. So you want to make sure that your families learn how to do this technique. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little reenactment. But don't take what I'm saying for face value. I'm gonna put every link below for all these techniques. But this is really important because a lot of times with infants and babies, they usually go into cardiac arrest because something is dislodged in their airway. Maybe they swallowed a toy or something. They usually don't have cardiac issues like adults. So it's not because they have, you know, a bad heart from eating oily foods or anything like that. Theirs is usually airway obstruction.
Why you did that? Why? Oh my gosh, it's an anything. Are you okay? Are you choking? Oh my gosh, stand up. Choke right behind up. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I'm gonna find her belly button. I'm gonna put my thumb inside my fist like this. I'm gonna find her xiphoid process, and I'm gonna put it in between those two. And then I'm gonna do some abdominal thrust.
Oh my gosh. You okay? That neck bone.
Listen, I told you not to eat them neck bones.
Neck bones, girl.
But you had to be greedy. Get some water.
Thank you, girl.
Oh my gosh. You can't be overeating like this. It's a Nathan R.
You put your foot in that.
Oh my gosh. Listen,
Thank you.
You sweating out my hair now.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're okay though.
Watch out for the...
Yeah. Alright guys, so the third technique that you're going to want to know is bleeding control. Now, I was watching the Bobby Brown movie a couple of months ago, and I remember someone in there got stabbed and everyone was just standing around. Like, as an EMS worker, I was just like yelling through the TV, like, go do something. Okay, but if someone's bleeding out, you don't want to just stand there. You know, you want to make sure that you're controlling the bleeding. Okay, so usually it's just by applying direct pressure to that injured area. Okay, and you want to make sure that you use a cotton like texture. You know, something like this would be okay. You know, a shirt. You don't want to really use a jacket, because a jacket is not going to really help the blood clot. Okay, so that's really what you're trying to do, is to help the blood clot. Because if the blood doesn't clot and the person's bleeding out, what that's going to lead to, possibly, you know, if they're bleeding out really bad, is irreversible shock. Okay, so once it gets to that point, EMS can't really do anything for that patient and they'll most likely die. So, you know, if someone's bleeding out, just apply direct pressure, and maybe if you take a first aid course, you can learn how to apply a tourniquet and help with the bleeding. Alright guys, keep in mind that when you're applying direct pressure to a wound, don't remove the dressing. So if you put a cloth on there, don't remove it just to put a new cloth on there. Keep that old one on there and put the new one on top of it. Okay, so you want to make sure that blood clots. Okay, so don't remove old dressing. Just a reminder, when you're dealing with blood, you want to make sure that you're using gloves if possible, or like a plastic bag. You don't really want to directly touch someone else's blood, because sometimes you may know the person but you don't know what they have. Okay, they have or don't have. Okay, so make sure that, you know, you're protecting yourself while trying to help other people, because you don't want to become a casualty also. So just be very, very careful when dealing with blood.
Bleeding! I'm bleeding! Oh my gosh! Isn't it bleeding? Are you okay? No! Oh my god! No! Oh, let me call the police. Oh. Wait, hold on. I'm bleeding! Stop it! Stop it! Make it stop! Oh gosh! I'm bleeding! Okay, you'll be alright. You'll be alright. What's going on? What happened? What's going on? Hold on. What happened? What happened? They're neck bones! Oh god! Did someone stab you? Oh, they to the neck bones! Oh my gosh! Oh. They to the neck bones! Oh my gosh! Make it stop! Someone stabbed my sister over some neck bones! Please hurry! Please hurry! Oh my gosh! She's bleeding! She's bleeding! Yes, I'm controlling the bleeding! Yes! Please hurry! Oh my gosh! Are you okay? No! You're gonna be alright! No! You're gonna be alright! I got you! Where my neck bones? I got you! You're gonna be okay! It's bleeding! You're gonna be okay! I got you! Alright, okay.
So my final technique is really not a technique, but something that you should have on you at all times if you have really bad allergic reactions, and this is called an EpiPen. Okay, so this EpiPen is what you should carry around when you go to eat somewhere or when you go on vacation, because honestly, if you go into anaphylaxis, which is a really, really bad allergic reaction, it can close off your airway. Okay, so you can stop breathing from an allergic reaction, and then you can go into cardiac arrest and you can actually die. So you want to make sure you carry around an EpiPen. You know, if your kid is allergic to something, make sure they have it on them at all times. And you also don't want to share EpiPens, only because there's different dosage for adults and children. Okay, so make sure that you're going to the doctor and getting one for yourself or your family member. And also keep in mind that you need to know how to use this EpiPen. Okay, I'm gonna put like a little video on how to use it, but you want to make sure you know how to use it, because if you don't use it properly, it won't be as effective. Okay, it will work, but it probably just won't work how it's supposed to. Okay, so I'm gonna put a video, and also I'm gonna put a link to my website on some tips that I didn't mention in this video. Things that I mentioned and things I didn't mention. So make sure you check out my website after you watch this video or during it, whatever. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I have more great material for you in the future, okay? I'm working on stuff right now. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. You know, I see my subscribers are going up. I want to get to 1,000 soon, so please help me do that. Share this video and just make it an event to, you know, go with your family to learn these different techniques. There's so many free resources in your community. You just really have to search for them. I'll put as many links as I can possibly find in the description box, and I'll also have an article for you guys on my website, kthepa.com. If you want to check that out, I'll put links there too. So yeah, thank you. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye. Wait, how's your shirt? And by the way, y'all, it's ketchup, okay? Oh my gosh, it's a Nathan Art. Are you choking? Oh my gosh, let me help you. Come on, get up, get up. Get your head behind up. Come on. Sit down. Huh? Sit down.
I don't know how in the world I'm going to do that. I still have to work. I also have to make sure that I girl, I'm going back.
Oh my god, you keep coming towards this way. I can't get your head in here.
Perfectly.